morning. We are from Malaysian Economy, Team 10. Today, our presentation is about Jerai Geopark, a tourism project in Kedah, Malaysia. Good morning. I'm Pravita Kanaswaran, matrix number 289793. I will be presenting about the Malaysian economic performance in the tourism sector. Due to the current COVID-19 pandemic, there is potential to have far-reaching and long-term impacts on tourism as an economic industry. This is because social distancing, community lockdowns, mandatory quarantine, and curbs on crowding were enforced by the government that has paused global travel and tourism all around the world. Next, as we all know, the tourism industry is the most affected economic sector during the COVID-19 pandemic. The tourism industry involving face-to-face interactions is likely to be disproportionately affected, including hotels, restaurants, air travel, and tourism services. COVID-19's impact could be felt throughout the tourism ecosystem. Malaysia's growing tourism sector is the third largest contributor to the country's economy. The National Tourism Development Plan, which aimed to increase tourist arrivals in Malaysia, had met its goals, resulting in an increase in tourist numbers before the COVID-19 pandemic struck the country. Furthermore, there were drops in certain years as a result of both internal and external environmental issues. The graph below depicts Malaysia's tourism industry overall growth. As we can see in the graph, there is a struck down from 2019 to 2020. Malaysian government's crackdown on hotels, restaurants, and nightclubs, which occurred on March 18, 2020, after Singapore announced its first COVID-19 positive case from Wuhan, China. The graph below depicts a downward trend in Malaysian tourist receipts, which explains the decrease in the percentage of international visitors. Due to the outbreak, 45 billion in tourist spending was lost in the first half of the year. In 2019, the tourism sector contributed approximately 15.9% of the total GDP. Prior to the outbreak of COVID-19, the Southeast Asian tourism industry had witnessed substantial growth, and Malaysia launched the Visit Truly Asia Malaysia 2020 campaign with a target of 30 million tourist arrivals and 100 billion in tourist revenue for 2020. On December 23, 2020, the government issued the National Tourism Policy (NTP) to ensure the continuity of the country's tourism sector and to position Malaysia as a preferred tourist destination worldwide. Key approaches to attaining the NTP agenda involves effective tourism industry recovery based on new norms. MIDA, Malaysia Investment Development Authority, embraces consideration involving high-value and innovative tourism products and services that makes a contribution to a comprehensive ecosystem such as tourism development and investment zones, while adhering to environmental policies and legal requirements.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Aimi Farhana binti Kari Hisham, my matric number 288198. On 2nd September 2021, water heat phenomena that happened in the waterfall Rikayan, especially at the Seri Peringgi resorts. Not only that, but the incident has resulted in a great deal of devastation and loss, particularly for inhabitants in the areas. The victim has been traumatized about the incident and loss of family members and possession. The river overflowed due to heavy run in the hill upstream section, and the wet impairment such as trash, woods and branches saw on the bridge. After uncovering 69 landside trees, the Department of Mineral and Geoscience found considerable alternatives in the Earth's surface. The majority of the runs were discovered around Titi Hayut and Batu Hampar on the mountain slopes, causing mud and debris to flow to the settlement area at the foot of the mountain. Secondly, tourists bring in demand for service and facility. As a result, entrepreneurs must supply sufficient demand. Money has a role in the shaping of the department of location where business try to reap the most profit from their investment when market forests are dominant. The development of rehabilitation has a detrimental effect, especially on the environment and society. Tourist activity result in uncontrolled land exploration, excessive resource use, and untreated waste disposal. Local living near the destination also fuel dissemination in employment, income, and entrepreneurship. as well as social system caused by the inclusion of the other culture that are incompatible with the culture of the population. If this is allowed to continue, tourism attraction will diminish and the task of restoring demand resources cannot be safe. As a result, tourism, like other sectors of economy, will face the same fate if no special plans are put in place to encourage this development while creating a decades measure to prevent its long-term decline.
My name is Nuralia Maisara binti Saiful Anwar. Our matrix number is 288500. Next, let's take a look on importance of Jerai Geopark project. First, this project will be able to maximize the Kedah and Malaysia tourism potential in terms of economic growth. Tourism play an important role in Malaysia GDP as this sector has contributed 15.9% of 2019 GDP with gross value added worth 240.2 billion ringgit Malaysia. However, due to the pandemic, this sector experienced 38.6% of decline in their contribution in 2020. Therefore, this project will be able to reconstruct our economy as number of tourists and tourist receipts will increase. Tourist receipt is important in our national income as this gives government chances to increase their expenditure. Providing employment opportunities. Tourism sectors in Malaysia takes up 15.1% of total employment for 2019 and 13.4% for 2020. There are a lot of subsectors in tourism sectors such as hospitality, food, transport and other services. Therefore, as Jerai Geopark become a UNESCO area, this will definitely widen the scale of production for goods and services to accommodate the increase of tourists coming to Jerai Geopark, thus creating more job opportunities. This will also improve the quality of life, decrease unemployment rate, and prevent waste of human resources. Moving on, we can see graph 3.0 showing number of employed person and tourism revenue growth for 2010 until 2019. We can see the trend of both numbers and employed person and tourism revenue growth is the same, showing how important and impacts of tourism in creating job opportunities. The last significance for this project is to aid in bridging the economic gap. There's this one term in this project which is visitor economic approach that help to identify the economic gap and help close the disparity. This project will be able to close the gap between agriculture and other industry. This is because agricultural sectors has facing changes in climate, disease, infection and pests that has resulted in decline of income. This can be proven by 2.2 decrease in the agricultural contribution of our GDP for 2020 in contrast to GDP contribution in 2019 with an increase of 4.4%. On the other hand, the revenue for other industries such as shopping, hospitality and transportation has remained stable. Therefore, to solve this economic gap, this project will be using 43.86% from the land use zoning for agricultural activities and smart farming that use drone and AI. Next, we can see table 3.0 showing stable percentage of contribution of main sectors in tourism from the year 2017 until 2019. Sectors other than agriculture is experiencing stable growth, unlike agriculture that we know facing great decline. Therefore, with the help of Jerai Geopark, we believe that this disparity will be reduced and further helps people in the agricultural sectors.
First point is to place Jerai Geopark as a global top 10 tourism destination. Stage in Malaysia has a unique tourist attraction. Without our knowledge, Jerai Geopark also offers attractive attraction for a visitor. It has a wide variety of flora and fauna as well as historical relics that cannot be ignored. The neighborhood may be less famous, but in the small district of Sembilan, Jerai Geopark has some interesting place for travel to explore. As we all know, tourists love to take pictures. They can make a picture break at the Sembilan Sungai Merbok Tourism Complex, as it is bounded by mangrove wetland, and interesting walking trail can be used as a photo location. There are 3 exhibition areas including historical gallery, wildlife gallery, and flora along the Merbok River. In addition, this exhibition area has information related to the Jerai Geopark area. Not only that, but the beautiful painting on the side of the historical building in Sembilan are an interesting feature.
Next, UNESCO has mentioned that global geoparks are places of geological heritage and landscapes of international importance. This is also related to an area's outstanding natural and cultural heritage. The second objective is to make Jerai Geopark to be advanced and convenient. There was a suggestion to create an application for the Jerai Geopark tourists. This is to ensure the visitors or the tourists are convenient when they make a visit to Jerai Geopark. This application is said to consist of many useful features: Jerai Geopark's map, hotels, transportation facilities, travel plans, places to eat, emergency contacts, and additional information are to name a few. This application is yet to be done under the Kedah State Economic Planning Division, Bahagian Perancangan Ekonomi Negeri Kedah.
Third point is to recover the tourism from the pandemic based on the new normal. Promoting tourist attraction in the Jerai Geopark may be performed by using information technology, such as the internet, to spread tourism information. Short video as a promotional medium may be displayed using digital technology, such as broadcasting on the social media sites like Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok and Twitter, linked to in streaming Jerai Geopark. Compared to traditional approaches that employ written promotional material, the exhibition of this video is a true statement about the situation of the Jerai Geopark in conjunction with the facing of the new millennium. This ensures that all travel have access to helpful information about fascinating tourist location and activity. Thirdly, this plan can ensure that all tourism information is inflation covered in order to attract tourists.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to Aimi. So, I will start my presentation. Before that, let me introduce myself first. My name is Amirul Idham bin Batul Hisham. My matric card number 289615. So, I will present about to propose solution issue in Jerai Geopark. We take Kuala Muda Yan Heritage Tourism Corridor Development as our solution. As we know, the main focus for the project was to attract more tourists from abroad to come to Kuala Muda Yan, located in Jerai Geopark. But it also have good effect on the population at Kuala Muda Yan. As we know, the issue in Jerai Geopark is road destroyed, mud flood, and the economy decreased GDP. So we have 3 steps that will help to solve the issue in Jerai Geopark. First, develop directional signage along the way. As we know, many roads was destroyed as a result from waterhead phenomenon that happened in the waterfall region. So by doing that, this project, we can make sure that safety of the population is more assured. So, number 2 is advancing the stopover. Due to the mud flood that happened in Kuala Muda Yan, has caused a lot of public damage such as house, bus stop, and another else. So, with this project, public property can be restored. And number 3 was market and promote product. In term economic growth stories is main factor to increase Malaysia gross domestic product is GDP. So, with this project, we can improve the GDP at Jerai Geopark. So, that's all from me. Thank you. So, I will give the next presentation to Nur Aisha. Thank you.
Thanks to Amirul. Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. I would like to introduce myself first. I'm Nur Aisha binti Mayamil. Matric number is 287767. Background of the project. One of the strategic thrusts of the Jerai Geopark Heritage Development Action Plan, Kedah, is to optimize the value chain and supply chain of new investment through the tourism sector in order to reduce the economic gap between the two local authorities in Jerai Geopark. At the core of the strategy, there are 3 actions taken. One of the 3 projects in the first action is the Kuala Muda Yan Heritage Tourism Corridor Development Project. This project is named as a Tourist Destination Management Project and is a project under the supervision of government, namely the Ministry of Natural Resource and Environment. This project is implemented in a short period of time from 2021 to 2023. Next is objective. There are 3 objectives in the development of Kuala Muda Yan Heritage Tourism Corridor. The first is to manifest the wealth of tourism product at Jerai Geopark. The second is to help and facilitate travel agency in developing their package. Through this project, can attract tourists either domestically or abroad who want to come to Jerai Geopark to use tourism service through the agency. And lastly is to facilitate safe drive, market visit, and planning movement. This map shows heritage trail natural attractions. In this map, had 10 interesting places that are used as trail for natural attraction. They are 15 main products offered to the end of the road. Tourists can start the tour from Singkeh to Bujang to Kuala Muda. The first place on this trail is the Archaeological Museum, next Nirani Napiah, and so on until you get the last location is Pantai Merdeka. The main focus is for student and family. Tour mode is for self-drive and travel agency. As you can see here, the main products is the Archaeological Museum of Lembah Bujan and Sungai Batu Archaeological Complex. Day for tour is 1 day to 2 day only. Next is Heritage Trail Tourist Edu Attraction. As you can see, this map shows the predefined route. There are 14 products in the Heritage Trail of Edu Tourism Attraction and has 10 interesting places. You can start off the tour at Tiram Bakau Hijau. There, tourists can learn about oyster farming and visit mangrove. Next to tourism complex until you get at Ladan Nirani Pachekar. At each stopover, they can do many activities. Day for tour is 1 to 2 days. Main product is Grey Mangrove Oyster, Sungai Merbuk Tourism Complex, Tanjung Dawai Arcade, Forest Museum, and main focus is domestic family and association. Tour mode is for self-drive and travel agency. Next is implementation. This is the way the project is implemented and the agency that implement it, finalizing the routes and key product involved along the route and developing chemtrail from the breakdown and network of products along the corridor is an implementation step. In addition, identify public stopovers, pit stop that have basic amenities such as toilets and dining area. This measure was implemented by Kedah Tourism, Sungai Petani Municipal Council and Yang District Council. The next step is to develop directional signs along the roads. This step is implemented by the Sungai Petani Municipal Council and Yang District Council. The last step is to market and promote the corridor tourism and implemented by Kedah Tourism. Next is budget proposal for this project. A capital of RM 600,000 allocated for this project. 300,000 each for development capital and operating capital. In the development capital, the capital is used to provide directional sign along the corridor and provide videos along the tourism corridor, while capital for operation is used for marketing and promotion through mass media mediums and short videos of experience along the corridor. And the last one is expected outcome. In the Kuala Muda Young Tourism Corridor Development Project is implemented to make Kuala Muda Young a famous tourist destination in the country and or abroad. This project introduced best product and place in Kuala Muda Young. In fact, this project can make Malaysia a country with many tourist destinations in the eyes of the world. Thank you.